Okay, first of all, I know the history behind the WNBA. I know that both of those cities have had teams before and they got us where we're at, so I'm thankful for that.
Sophie Cunningham's stunning revelation. The baby news that shocked Caitlin Clark and the WNBA. Sophie Cunningham, the Phoenix Mercury star known for her fiery spirit, bold personality, and relentless hustle, has always been the kind of player who wears her heart on her sleeve. Whether it's diving for loose balls, jawing with opponents, or hyping up her teammates, she has built a reputation as one of the most fearless competitors in the WNBA. But recently, Sophie dropped a revelation that left Caitlin Clark, and fans everywhere, completely speechless. In a twist no one saw coming, Cunningham shared a personal update that had nothing to do with three-pointers or playoff pushes. It was about something bigger, something deeper, something that instantly sparked questions and set social media ablaze. The shocking update? Sophie revealed she was preparing for a brand new chapter of her life, a baby. The news instantly went viral, catching fans and even Caitlin Clark off guard. What followed wasn't the usual drama we've come to expect from the sports world, but a moment so raw and human that it reminded everyone why the WNBA is more than just a league. It's a community. A private talk that became a turning point behind the bright lights of arenas and the deafening cheers of fans. Sophie had been carrying a secret. For months, while battling through the ups and downs of the season, she held close something she hadn't shared publicly. When the moment finally came, she knew exactly who she had to call first: Caitlin Clark. Clark, the rookie phenom who has already become the face of the WNBA, is often in the spotlight. Every move she makes is scrutinized. Every performance is dissected. But when Sophie picked up the phone, this wasn't about basketball. It wasn't about matchups, training regimens, or stat lines. It was about life. On the other end of the line, Caitlin didn't react like a rookie trying to prove herself. She didn't respond like a superstar drowning under expectations. Instead, she reacted like a friend. Her joy was pure. Her support was immediate. She listened, smiled, and gave Sophie the kind of reassurance that said, "You don't have to walk through this alone." It was a private exchange, but it quickly became the heart of the story. For Caitlin, the call wasn't about the league or the media frenzy that would follow. It was about being present, being human, and standing beside someone she respected and cared for. The news spreads, of course. Secrets don't stay private for long in the world of professional sports. What started as whispers online soon erupted into a storm of reactions. At first, many fans assumed Sophie's update was something simple: a training note, a new sponsorship, or maybe even an off-season project. But when the truth surfaced, it shocked everyone. This wasn't about workouts or schedules. It was about something infinitely more meaningful. And when the wider WNBA community learned, the reaction was nothing short of inspiring. Rivals, players who usually go toe-to-toe with Sophie on the court, were some of the first to send messages of encouragement. Teammates showered her with celebration and humor, already teasing her about a new team member. And fans? They lit up social media with an avalanche of support, turning Sophie's announcement into a full-blown celebration. For once, the headlines weren't about wins, losses, or controversy. They were about unity, about love, about the kind of human connection that makes the WNBA feel so different from any other professional league. A rare moment in sports. Moments like these don't come often. Professional sports can feel cold, transactional, and cutthroat. Players are often reduced to numbers, judged solely by their performance on the court or field. But Sophie's revelation broke through all of that. It was bigger than basketball. It was about humanity. It reminded fans, and perhaps the athletes themselves, that behind every jersey number is a person navigating life's milestones. The WNBA has always stood out for the way its players rally around one another, even when they're rivals. Sophie's story only reinforced that bond. Instead of creating distractions or divisions, her news pulled people closer together. It highlighted what makes the league unique: the ability to compete fiercely on the court while standing together off it. Fans react: shock, joy, and curiosity. Naturally, fans had questions. While most celebrated Sophie's new chapter with overwhelming positivity, confusion quickly followed. After all, Sophie has always kept her personal life incredibly private. For years, there have been no signs of a romantic partner, no tagged photos, no cryptic tweets, no Instagram soft launches that usually send fan communities into a frenzy. So the obvious question emerged: how was this possible? Sophie Cunningham's guarded love life. If Sophie is an open book on the court, she's a locked vault off of it. On social media, she shares plenty of behind-the-scenes snapshots, celebrations, training moments, even silly clips that show her personality. But when it comes to romance, she pulls a curtain down so sharp it leaves no gaps. This silence has fueled endless speculation. Fans have long been curious, trying to piece together clues or draw conclusions from the smallest details. But Sophie has mastered the art of keeping her love life in the shadows. The last time anyone could confidently link her to a relationship was back in the late 2010s, when she was connected to Jacob Nadig. But since then, nothing. No whispers, no sightings, no subtle confirmations. Just deliberate, calculated privacy. For some athletes, that might be unusual. In today's world, where personal lives often spill into the public eye, Sophie's discretion stands out. It also makes her latest revelation all the more shocking. How could she be preparing for a baby when, at least to fans, she wasn't even in a relationship? That question remains unanswered. And maybe that's the way she wants it. Why this story resonates. At its core, Sophie Cunningham's revelation isn't just about her personal life. It's about perspective. Professional athletes are often placed on pedestals, viewed as larger-than-life figures immune to the struggles and joys of everyday existence. But Sophie's news shattered that illusion. She isn't just a competitor, a shooter, or a highlight machine. She's a woman navigating the same milestones that millions of others face: family, growth, and change. And in sharing that journey, even in her own guarded way, she reminded fans of something vital. Athletes may inspire us with their talent, but it's their humanity that truly connects us. Bigger than basketball. As the story continues to unfold, one thing is clear: this isn't just a headline about Sophie Cunningham. It's a moment that reflects the very soul of the WNBA. The league has always been about more than highlight reels and championships. It's about resilience, authenticity, and community. Sophie's revelation captured all of that in one unforgettable moment. From Caitlyn Clark's heartfelt reaction to the overwhelming flood of support from teammates, rivals, and fans, this story showed that the WNBA isn't just a league. It's a family. And as Sophie steps into this new chapter, she won't be walking it alone. She'll be surrounded by the same community that has always cheered her on. Only this time, the stakes are even higher and the love even deeper. Because in the end, it's not just about basketball. It's about life. And Sophie Cunningham just reminded us all of that in the most powerful way possible. Sophie Cunningham, the fighter who guards her heart but inspires millions. He was a multi-sport athlete, someone who thrived in both football and basketball, and someone who seemed to mirror Sophie Cunningham's fiery competitive spirit. His name was Jacob Nadig. For a brief moment, he was more than just a name whispered by curious fans. He became part of Sophie's public narrative. In May 2020, Cunningham herself fueled speculation when she shared a photo of Nadig proudly wearing her jersey. For supporters, it wasn't just another post. It felt like a bold declaration, her way of saying, "Yes, he's part of my world." But just as quickly as that glimpse appeared, it vanished. After that year, Nadig faded from view. No captions, no tagged photos, no subtle confirmations. By 2021, it was as though the relationship had been erased, leaving fans to wonder, did it end quietly? Or had Sophie simply moved it far from the public eye? The silence only deepened with time. In an age when athletes share nearly every aspect of their lives, her absence of romantic updates was striking. By 2024, Sophie's star was shining brighter than ever. Her fearless play for the Phoenix Mercury had elevated her profile, and off the court she was stepping into new spaces, sitting down for interviews with Visit Phoenix and opening up about her faith in conversations with Pastor Travis Hearn. These appearances gave fans a deeper look into her personality, her humor, her confidence, and her values. Yet whenever the inevitable questions about her personal life hovered nearby, she dodged them with the same precision she shows when slipping past the defender. No slips, no hints, no breadcrumb trail for fans to follow. Her silence fueled endless theories. Some believe Sophie is single by choice, dedicating her time and energy to her career and her growth. Others are convinced she has a partner but chooses to shield them from public scrutiny. A few even suggest she enjoys the mystery, letting fans speculate while she quietly controls the narrative. Whatever the truth may be, one fact stands out. Sophie Cunningham has chosen to let her game, not her love life, define her story. In an era where athletes' romances often overshadow their careers, her deliberate privacy sets her apart. It is this combination of openness and enigma that keeps fans hooked, not just on her three-pointers and defensive grit, but on the unanswered questions about the life she lives away from the hardwood. For someone of her caliber, it is remarkable to see her balance motherhood with her career, refusing to let one diminish the other. Perhaps it's her resilience, honed through years of defying the odds, that allows her to juggle both so powerfully. The relentless fighter. To understand why Sophie's baby news struck fans so deeply, you first have to know her journey. Hers has never been a tale of instant stardom or effortless victories. She wasn't the chosen one destined for greatness from day one. Everything she has achieved, she has clawed and fought for. At the University of Missouri, she didn't just play basketball, she owned the stage. Averaging more than 20 points per game, Cunningham became one of the program's all-time greats. But it wasn't just her scoring that made her unforgettable. It was the way she carried herself. Fearless. Unapologetic. Burning with competitive fire. Every time she stepped on the court, she sent a clear message. I belong here, and no one is pushing me out. That edge transformed her from just another scorer into the soul of Missouri basketball. She became a leader, an engine, and for many, the embodiment of grit. Still, the leap to the professional stage is brutal. When the Phoenix Mercury selected her in the second round of the 2019 WNBA draft, few believed she'd stick around. Second-round picks often don't survive training camp, let alone build lasting careers. But Sophie Cunningham has always thrived on proving people wrong. Her rookie year was a battle for survival. By her second year, she had shifted the narrative. No longer was she the overlooked long shot. She had become a key piece of the Mercury, carving out her role with deadly accuracy from beyond the arc, relentless defense, and an infectious intensity that lifted the energy of everyone around her. She wasn't just surviving, she was shining. Beyond the X's and O's. What makes Sophie so magnetic, however, isn't just her on-court production. It's her authenticity. In a sports world where athletes often deliver polished, robotic soundbites, Sophie is refreshingly real. She cracks jokes on social media. She laughs with teammates. She isn't afraid to talk about her struggles. She doesn't try to hide behind perfection. This authenticity makes fans feel like they truly know her. She reminds them that beneath the jersey and highlight reels is a woman who fights, dreams, and sometimes falters, just like anyone else. That's why her baby revelation, shared in a private but emotional call to Caitlyn Clark, resonated so deeply. It wasn't a PR stunt. It wasn't carefully choreographed. It was simply Sophie being herself, open, vulnerable, and unfiltered, and that's exactly why people listen when she speaks. They know it's real. Sophie Cunningham's legacy. Today, Sophie Cunningham stands as more than just a WNBA player. She is a symbol of resilience, authenticity, and determination. She is the overlooked second-rounder who fought her way into stardom. She is the fiery leader who never backs down. And she is the woman who has managed to guard her personal life while still forging a powerful bond with her fans. Her story is still being written. But one thing is clear, Sophie Cunningham isn't just defined by her stats, her jump shot, or her defense. She is defined by her fight, on and off the court. And that fight, more than anything else, is what keeps fans cheering, speculating, and believing. Sophie Cunningham and Caitlin Clark, a bond beyond basketball. News about Sophie Cunningham always seems to land differently. Whether good or bad, her name has a way of stirring emotions among fans. But when her latest revelation came out, a life-changing announcement about preparing for motherhood, the reaction was unlike anything before. And as fans celebrated and speculated, one question echoed again and again. Why was Caitlyn Clark the first person she called? The answer lies not in rivalry, but in a friendship forged through respect. A friendship forged in respect. On the surface, Caitlin Clark and Sophie Cunningham couldn't be more different. Caitlin, the fresh-faced rookie, entered the WNBA like a hurricane, smashing records, packing arenas, and shouldering a media spotlight that few athletes in women's basketball history had ever experienced. Hailed as a generational talent, she became the new face of the league before she even played her first professional game. Sophie's story was the opposite. As a veteran guard for the Phoenix Mercury, she had carved her path the long, hard way. Drafted in the second round, she was never handed a spotlight. Instead, she had to claw for every minute, adapt to every role, and prove herself again and again to skeptics who doubted she belonged. On paper, the two seemed worlds apart, one rising on the wings of hype, the other fighting tooth and nail to stay in the conversation. Yet basketball has a way of breaking down those divides. Their real connection didn't begin during a heated WNBA matchup, but at USA basketball training camps, spaces where rookies, veterans, and stars gathered to push one another. Inside that crucible of competition and camaraderie, mutual respect took root. Sophie quickly saw that Caitlyn wasn't just another rookie surfing a wave of headlines. She was the real deal, a once-in-a-generation talent who combined skill with work ethic. Caitlyn, in turn, recognized more than Sophie's toughness. She saw the resilience it took to survive in a league where nothing is guaranteed and roster spots are fleeting. What blossomed wasn't rivalry but friendship. Something rare in professional sports, where egos often clash and competition can create walls. Sophie didn't feel threatened by Caitlyn's meteoric rise. She leaned into it, becoming one of her biggest cheerleaders. She celebrated Caitlyn's records and embraced the attention she brought, recognizing that Clark's spotlight elevated women's basketball as a whole. And Caitlyn never treated Sophie like just another veteran. She valued her advice, respected her voice, and leaned on her perspective during a whirlwind debut season. For Clark, Sophie wasn't just a teammate, she was an anchor, someone who kept her grounded in a sea of noise. The call that meant everything. That trust became crystal clear when Sophie had life-changing news to share. She could have chosen anyone, family, longtime friends, Mercury teammates. Instead, she picked Caitlyn Clark. For fans, that choice was a glimpse into how deep their bond had grown. It wasn't about rookie versus veteran, star versus role player, or fever